Get started. Thank you all for being here, number one. Getting up on a Sunday to get some food, to listen to some conversation. They be trying to cut our voices off. They be trying not to have us speak in the mic.
I'm loud. I need to be.
Are we good?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
we good,
Yes.
y'all. What's up?
I will say that, thank you, Mojali and crew, and sharing them, because every time we come in here, it gets a little bit more fancier. So we trying to step up our production game. So hopefully, by next season when we do this again, y'all be walking in like, where are we at? Are we at the Oprah Winfrey show? Yes, because I'm coming for her job. So, for real, I'm coming for her job. So, sometimes when I want the audience to talk, they don't talk. And when I don't want the audience to talk, they talk.
They talk, baby.
Right, they talk back. Sound like children, I love it. I am DANI TIRRELL. I am the co-curator of this season of Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas. And I'm really excited to be here with our guests today. They are not a Seattle associated person, except for it's Sharon's cousin, so that's how they associated.
That's right, from North Carolina, baby.
North Carolina. But this person is just dope. I'm gonna leave it at that. You're gonna find out more about that later. I've had the pleasure of just talking to you for a few days and okay, so let's get to some interesting things before the bio. This is when Spirit and God is working. So we first met on Friday. And we walking in okay, great, we talking, and didn't realize we were dressed in the same color scheme. Green and black.
Yes, as we are right now.
Yes. So I walk in,
but it just happened.
Exactly. I walk in today and I'm like, wait, did you wait? So it's meant to be, and y'all know y'all about to get y'all life, because when two people dress in the same color scheme and don't know it,
2 days in a row,
boom, there you go. So y'all about to get y'all life, for real. I don't feel like I want to read your bio, but I don't.
Read it. It's okay. It's okay.
Because I just want to start talking.
Yeah.
Let me do some business.
You kind of did, Danny.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Let me do some business first.
Okay.
Here at Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas, we still have programming left in the season. I got to do the business.
Housekeeping. You got to do it.
Right.
Okay.
Let y'all know what's going on. So, March 21st through the 23rd, I forget dates, and it's right in front of my face. We have showing out contemporary Black singers and musicians and the word. So, we did that thing called Snow, or that thing called Snow did us in. So none of us could go anywhere for a few days, and our programming got canceled for showing out the word. So we had to reschedule those individuals. So we're going to mix the singers and musicians together with the poets and spoken word artists. So you're going to have one big, fat, fabulous show of spoken word and singers. You all are going to have a great time. Okay, no, you're not. Okay, great. Well, next on the agenda, but please come out. That is March 21st at Tacoma Art Museum. That is a free show. And then we have 3 shows here, a matinee show at 11 o'clock, and 2, I believe, 7:30 shows, if not 8 o'clock shows. That is March 21st through the 23rd. Those tickets are online. I do believe now they are online. After party. There's an after party.
Language. Yes. On Sunday.
It's a Saturday.
Oh, it's not. It's not on a Sunday.
No,
it's not after this.
No.
It's going to be on a whole different time.
Yes, different time. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to have to make you have another after party after this today, so you can go back to North Carolina.
Turn up.
With an after party.
I want to turn up.
See, people call
Okay.
This audience going to be fired today. Wait.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, because sometimes you need to turn up right after church.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
It just depends on how the service went.
Well, okay, let me finish with this business. I can't today. April 7th will be our last Sunday dinner of the season. That will be with David Rue. David Rue is a dancer, choreographer. David Rue also works for Seattle Art Museum. So please come out and hear what David Rue has to say. That's the next Sunday dinner. Okay, that's it for right now. For right now. I'll come back and do some more housekeeping
He's
things
dope.
later.
Y'all give it up one more time for your host. He's dope.
I feel like he's like a co-host. Like, we need to interview somebody else. Like, we just need to co-host, and then we just need to interview somebody else.
We can do that too.
Right. Ooh.
I told you I'm with you, baby, whatever you're trying to do. Let's
Randy.
go. Let's go.
Randy. Because we already been talking. Okay, so back to y'all, because y'all are here. Sorry, audience. I forgot about y'all. Courtney Goldie Jackson, a native... Okay.
Thank you.
A native of Raeford, North Carolina, has come a long way from chasing cows on her father's farm.
Yes, for real.
I am loving this audience. They like talking back. Oprah, I'm coming for your job. For real. Where was I at? I love this. Courtney has worked with some of Hollywood's biggest stars, traveled as a stand-up comedian, and worked with at-risk youth and veterans in her community. Since her television debut on VH1 in January of 2016, go ahead.
06. That's what I was going to say to you. I ain't know if it said it. I know if it said it.
Yes, yes. This woman on purpose continues to be recognized around the world as a reality television's favorite country girl. Let me slow down. Courtney has forged a path for herself with careers in entertainment and community service. Miss Jackson. Okay, you know I had to say it, like I had to get it in. That's a rap reference, people. If you didn't know, that's a rap reference. Outcast.
Outcast, baby. Was that on Aquemini?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead.
Ms. Jackson is a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill and Fayetteville State University. She landed on VH1's top-rated show, The Flavor Flav, Season 1. With Public Enemy's hype man, Flavor Flav. I didn't say that right, I tried.
Flavor Flav.
There you go, right.
That's how you say it.
That's what we need to Yes.
Yeah, boy.
Due to her quick wit and down-home charm, Goldie became an instant reality show favorite. While in LA, Courtney pursued acting, comedy, and hosting. She has worked along performers such as Martin Lawrence, Idris Elba, and Billy Dee Williams. Idris Elba?
Yes, honey, yes.
Idris Elba?
Yes.
All the feels.
My uterus has not recovered.
Yes.
Make you shout. Okay.
Where we at?
And I'm focused.
I don't know where we at.
And I'm focused.
On this Sunday. In 2010, she moved to Brooklyn, New York to further her comedy career and also landed a job as an AmeriCorps Peacekeeper for the Harlem Children's Zone. Courtney, y'all had a warm heart moment
for that. Okay.
Right. It just was like, you're warm. Okay, I get y'all. Courtney currently works as an outpatient therapist with substance abuse and mental health clients near her home. Please welcome Courtney Goldie Jackson.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for this warm welcome. I am loving Seattle, honey. This is
I bet you are.
Yeah, this is nice.
See.
I want to shout out to my cousin, Sharon Williams. Y'all, please give it up.
Yes.
For my beautiful cousin. Yes, who opened her home to me, which you know is not always cool when it's family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Family good for about 2 days, and then they be ready for me to go back home. Yeah.
Like,
but no, she's so sweet, and she's so nice, and I don't wake her up early because I know how we do. No, I wait.
She did make you miss an event last night, but we're not gonna talk about that.
It's all good. We here though. We here. We in the present. We in the present moment.
Yes. I'm still a little bitter. All right, let's jump into this.
Okay, let's go.
So, you are a country girl raised on the farm.
Yeah.
What was that? Your daddy's farm.
My daddy's farm. Yeah.
What was that like? Talk us through that.
It was amazing. It was amazing because, I don't know if we got any other people that were raised on farms from the country out here. She's like, no ma'am, you are so by yourself, nobody else. No, it was nice, you know what I'm saying? Like, you away from everything. And, my daddy, he was like, that was on purpose. Like, he wanted me to not be, because he knew I was off the chain. Right. He knew that. He was like, you do not need to be in nobody's city. You need to be like here. So, but we had cows, we had hogs, we had chicken, we had everything. You know what I mean? It was my job to make sure like the cows didn't get out. Right. So when I got home from school, like it wasn't just do your homework, it was like do your homework and watch out to make sure the cows didn't get out. And so I would have to like run outside and wrestle them back in and all that. Like all of that was part of my everyday life. And
did you find that, like, as a child, you were just like, oh, it's just normal life, or were you just like, why?
No, I knew it was weird. No, I knew that. I was well aware. Right. No, none of my other friends grew up on farms. I was like the only one. You know what I mean? But it was good. It was like peaceful and, quiet and everything. Right. We had cable because he knew we had to have cable. Like, so I was going to make it.
So it wasn't Little House on the Prairie?
Nah. No. It was like the black version of that. Yeah. But no, it was cool. My mom passed when I was 14. Oh, wow. And so it was just me and him. And we had to figure out what life was going to be like after that. And we were just like, I don't know how to cook. You know how to cook? I don't know how to cook. Right. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just making sandwiches every day. Right. And then, we figured it out. You know what I mean? Because it's one of the things, like, everybody's going through stuff. Right. And so when you go through the stuff, then you just have to figure out how to keep going after that. And that's what we did. And he taught me that.
So your mom died when you were 14. Mm-hmm. How did that yes, I'm about to go there. You and your dad's relationship, what did that do for your relationship?
It made us closer and it pushed us further apart at the
How
same time.
So?
Because we became closer because we had to rely on each other to like figure out how to like do stuff because she did everything. You know what I mean? We were spoiled. Right. And then it pushed us further apart because I was trying to figure out just how to be a kid. Right. You know what I mean? How to be a teenager or whatever. My dad was like this old, like real country kind of dude that wore overalls every day. And you know what I mean? And he didn't care that I was a teenager. And he was just like, no, you know what I mean? Like, this is how I need you to be a young lady. And so it was the dynamics of us were kind of hard to figure out. But we made it. You know what I mean? Yes. We just made, like, how we made it, we just made it. Right. And it was cool. I learned so much. I learned so much from my dad. Mm-hmm. Just about life.
What is the one important lesson that sticks out that you learned from your dad?
Wow. Can I come back to that? Can I come back to that?
You're gonna come back to that one.
I'll come back to that question. No, because I know it'll come back.
There's so many lessons.
Yes.
Okay, we're coming back to that one. Oh God, there's so many questions now. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay. How did you being raised on a farm play into you wanting to pursue comedy?
Ooh. Well, because, it's like you're really bored on a farm most of the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really boring. So you have to entertain yourself. And so that was always my thing. I used to love Comic View. You know what I mean? When I was growing up. Yeah. And so I was a big fan of Comic View. And I would at night, after my daddy went to bed, I'd watch comedy on TV, and it was like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. Like, it was just always something I connected to. And so I would go to school the next day and I would retell jokes at school to people. And they would just be like, where are you getting this stuff from? And I'm like, it's on TV, y'all. Yeah, like some comic view at night now. And so that was my thing. Cause I loved engaging with people that way. I love making people laugh. I love being funny and like off the cuff and like saying stuff you didn't expect. And so, yeah.
I've experienced that this week.
Oh, have you now?
I love that with you.
Yeah.
Are you the only funny person in your family?
Not at all. By far not. No.
Who's the funniest person in your family?
You know what? Probably my dad was probably the funniest because my daddy was like so original. He was such an original and he did not care what you thought about him. And that's probably the biggest lesson. Yeah. To not, just to be you and to really not care what other people thought, you know. And like he would sit at the dinner table with his shirt open and he had like a big gut and he didn't care and he would just be like laughing and telling bad jokes at the table. And then he called me Gal and he'd be like, Gal, come here, Gal. I'm like, I got a name. So, I called him Papa. We were real country. Okay. So that was it. It was cool. It was cool.
Awesome. What was the moment that you said, yes, entertainment is what I want to do? Like, what was that exact moment you were like, yes, I'm pursuing this?
Okay, so I'll give you the short. So when I was 18 and I went to college, because, you had to go to college. Right. Coming from the South, you have to go. That's just what they put in you to go. You got to go. So I was 18 and I was like, I want to go to LA. I want to do this. I want to do this. And it was like, you can't go to LA. Because that's just not what people did. Right. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to just finish school. You know what I mean? I'm going to just go, I'm going to finish, I'm going to get my degree that I never used. Yeah. So, and then I just, I was going to go to medical school because I wanted to be a doctor. Shout out, anybody that thought they was going to be a doctor. Yeah. No, it didn't happen. So I was going to go to medical school and I took the MCAT twice. And I got the same score both times. Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. And so I was so emotional and sad about I'm not gonna go to medical school, I don't want to do my life. And so because during this moment where I'm solo and I'm so sad about not, being able to go, and then it's like, wait a minute, there was something else you wanted to do. Right. You wanted to pursue acting. So now this is your opportunity to go pursue acting, which is what I did. Yeah. Okay, so I know the story. Let's talk about that story, how that all came to be. Okay, so, all right, so I have a cousin that is a singer. And so I was just like, I want to go. You're on Facebook Live too, Sharon's page. Right. Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure. No, I know. Okay. No, yeah, I have a second. So you guys just shout out my cousin. Shout out to Jasmine Kelly, my cousin, who is an amazing singer. But anyway, so I told her that I wanted to go to LA, and she was just like, and you're expecting people to be like, what? That's crazy. What do you mean? And she was like, okay, I'll help you drive. I was like, cool. So we went and we drove to LA. The whole, it took us 39 hours to get to LA. Well, okay, so I had a friend that I went to college with. And so the friend was telling me when you get out here, you're gonna be good, you can stay with me, I got you. And so, I had this whole plan set up. I was right out to live with him. Right. But so I have another friend. Right, I'm sorry, y'all. A good story. It's gonna come around, I promise. Yeah. So I have another friend that introduced me to the guy, right? Okay, so me and her were super cool. This is my girl. We so tight. She was the last person I visited before I left North Carolina. And she's crying. She's emotional that I'm leaving. And so, but little did I know, she was in love with the guy that I was moving to LA to live with. So she hated on me going there, and she called him and was like, oh, she doesn't have any money, she doesn't plan, she hasn't told anybody, she plans to live off of you, and seriously ruined where I was gonna live. And so by the time I got got to Barstow, California, which is 3
And you and the guy
hours.
was just friends.
We were just cool. Like, no. Like, I promise I did not want him at all. Like, there was no interest at all. You know what I'm saying? Just aside from us living together. And so I was in Barstow, California, which is 3 hours away from LA. And I call him to say, hey, I'm in Barstow. And he goes, why didn't you tell me the truth? Woo. I was like, no, what what do you mean? What are you talking about? And he was like, no, your girl told me what was up. And I'm like, no, what's up? What do you mean? And he gives me the story, and I'm like, that's not true at all. What do you know? And he goes, well, I'm not cool with you coming. And I'm 3 hours away from LA, and I have nowhere else to go. I don't have another plan. There's no plan B.
Right.
So we drive, because at this point I start hyperventilating. Remember I told you? Yeah. I start hyperventilating, which is something I've never done. Like it happened, because who's been in that position? You know what I mean? And I'm like, and my cousin takes the phone and she's like cussing him out. She's going out. And so we keep going because we're 3 hours away. Right? And so we drive to LA, we get there, it's crazy, I don't have nowhere to go. Well, my cousin had a good friend that was in LA, and she needed a babysitter for her baby. Okay. And I was like, oh, I like kids. Yeah, I can do that.
A place to stay.
Oh, and I need a place to stay like right now. Yeah. And so I ended up moving in with her, and I was the babysitter for a little bit, and then I ended up moving in downstairs. So, and this is the part I didn't tell you. So there was a guy downstairs that needed a roommate, right? Just like crazy looking rocker, like punk rock looking dude. Yes. And his roommate was moving out. And she was like, he needs a roommate. And I was like, okay, why you telling me? Cause I'm not gonna do this. We're not doing this. I don't feel safe. No. And he was like a bad, like he drunk a lot. He was like a really bad alcoholic. Yes. Well, it got to the point where like I had to do it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things like you just got to do it on faith. And I just did it on faith, and I moved in with him. The week I moved in with him, he stopped drinking.
Wow. Won't you do it?
Come on. And at night, he would listen, I promise you I can't make this stuff up. At night, he would listen to video recordings of T.D. Jakes preaching.
Wow.
I was like, what? Okay.
Right.
It was just amazing. So that lasted for like a couple of weeks, and then my best friend moved out there with me. Okay. And that started, us being in LA together. So yeah.
I love that story because it just talks about like going after your dreams and the roadblocks and not turning back and still pursuing your dreams.
Right. Because nothing is gonna be easy. Nothing. Right. You have to you just know whatever you're trying to do, it's gonna be some stuff that's gonna happen, and it's gonna a lot of times it's gonna look like it's not gonna work. Right. And you just gotta do it anyway. Like what my girl Joyce Meyer says, you gotta do it afraid. Like you gotta do it afraid. Just do it. Yeah.
And so you did it afraid. Mm-hmm. You walked into LA, you lived there, you had some hard times when you first got there. What made you stay? And how long did you stay?
Oh, the weather. It was a lot of things. It was the weather too, though. The weather was beautiful, right, all the time. Because I wanted it. You know what I mean? Like I wanted it, and I knew it wasn't going to be overnight. Right. I knew you were going to have to you're going to have to audition, and you're going to have to hear no so many times, and people were going to tell you weren't good enough, and you can't do it, and you might as well go back home. And I'm that type of person. Like you're not going to push me down. You're not going to do that. Like I might not be on the level that you think I ought to be on, but baby, you're not going to stop me. You know what I mean?
Where did that come from? The resisting the no.
Oh, you know what? I must have to give that to my daddy again. I think I really do. Yeah. Because he was he told me once, daughter. He called me gal and daughter. He said, daughter, there's something in me that just won't stop, and I know that you got that same something in you too. And so, yeah, that's, you know, that was it. Yeah. So, you know, and LA was fun and LA was hard.
Yes.
You know, it was like, you know, because we used to do, like, me and my best friend, we used to do, like, background work all the time.
Uh-huh.
So we were, like, extras on everything. Like, everything. And so, like, I would just be in the bed, sleep, like, I don't have anything to do today. And she was like, girl, you better get up. We getting ready to go work on Judge Joe Brown. So, yeah. So we did a lot of work on Judge Joe Brown. But just different stuff. And you would meet all of these different people from all of these different places. And, you know, it really just kind of kept you motivated. Because they would be like, yeah, we just moved out here. And we like, yeah, we've been out here from North Carolina. And, you know, and it was just like a nice camaraderie with people from everywhere that, you know, everybody was trying to get it. We was trying to get that dream. So, which is how I ended up on Flavor of Love.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. We're gonna talk about that in a second. There's so much I want to ask right now.
So just real quick.
Yeah.
I want to shout out my roommates from LA. They may not even see this, okay? But I still have to give them that love.
Yeah.
Because literally we held each other down. You cannot make it in anything by yourself. You cannot. And so it was my best friend Renata. It was my boy Ruben, Ruben, the Rube boy, we used to call him. Ruben slept on the couch for 5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But he was the man in the house that like made us feel safe. You know what I'm saying? And then we had like a couple others that were coming and going. Fufu Quan Johnson, my boy, just still out there doing his thing. I'm sorry. Fu and my best friend could not get along at all. They did not get along. She was like, it's either him or me. And I was like, no, he cleans up. He's gotta stay. And so she was like, he gotta go. I don't like him. And I was like, okay, you gotta go, Fu. And so Fu left. But the crazy thing is like when we were away from the house, Fu would break in. He would break in, and we knew he would break in because he would be the last person logged on Facebook.
He broke in to come get on Facebook.
Just to use the computer. I promise you. So, still great friend of mine to this day. And so, yeah, I mean, just we had, you know, we would let people stay. Like, that's how we did. We would let people come and stay. Like, if we met somebody that was like, you know, oh, I'm sleeping in my car, or oh, I don't have nowhere to, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Right.
We'd be like, what? No, you come and stay with us. Because, like, from North Carolina, you just can't really imagine people living in their car. So, you know, but eventually we got, you know, we figured it out. Like, okay, a lot of y'all sleeping in your car, and we just can't let everybody stay with us.
Exactly.
Right, we just can't let everybody come and live here. Some people got in though. And so yeah, just, you know, we just had that open type of thing. And me and Sharon were talking about it in the car, how, you know, on Thanksgiving and Christmas, we were the house that people came to.
Yes.
You know, we would cook, we would go in, honey. We would cook like over there cook.
Right.
You know, and so one Thanksgiving, we had Father MC like come and be our guest, right, random, because that's how LA is. LA is very random, and so you just never know who you're gonna meet. But you know, we just tried to create that like home type of thing or whatever. And I was like the house mama,
because that's healing energy. Well, I know about house mama. That's a whole other like gay lifestyle thing. But anyway. Probably a whole nother Sunday dinner.
Well, because the more you give it, the more you get it.
Exactly.
And you know
That was also healing energy to like open your house up, especially times around holidays where it's rough for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So like that just right there, just like we talked about this earlier today, what's the healing energy? Yeah. Feeding people is healing energy. Yeah. Feeding people during holiday times is healing energy. Mm-hmm.
It's so far away from home.
Exactly.
And it's like, ooh, y'all got macaroni and cheese and some sweet potato pie. Like, oh yeah, we coming over there.
Especially when, you know, you live in LA and not too many people may not know how to make that great.
This is true. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying. Next question.
Everybody don't have that gift.
Right. So, not only are you an actor and a comedian, you spent a lot of time in school.
Yes, too much.
I want to talk about your pursuit of education and why that was important to you. I know you said that like your family was like, look, you going to school, but why was it important to you, or was it important to you?
Yeah, because I'm smart. I'm smart,
Yes,
and
you are.
like I said, I wanted to be a doctor way back when, and so I just had to figure it out and like really figure out what I wanted to do. I like school. School is all right, but to me, it's a means to an end. For instance, like comedy is my way of like, you heal people through comedy. You make people laugh, you make people feel good. It's that warm thing, you know what I mean? It's you connecting with them or whatever, and they're like, oh God, I'm not going through this by myself. And then like what I do now, doing therapy, it's just another way of healing. It's just another way of connecting, and it's like, hey, it's the one-on-one thing versus being in a big crowd of people. It's the one-on-one thing, like I see you, I know, I've been there, it's okay, type of, so it's all healing. It's just how you how you decide to give it out on, that particular day.
Were you comedy?
Absolutely. Yes.
What does that look like?
Yes, honey. Yes.
What does that look like?
Well, on every day, it intersects because a lot of time I make my clients laugh. It's like, it's so heavy. Oh God, what they going through? And it's like, oh wow, and I'm sensitive, I'm compassionate, but at the same time, eventually you gotta like crack a joke in there to kind of just lighten up everything. Because they need it. They need it. Somebody that's depressed, they walk in, they're depressed, or they have bipolar, they got schizophrenia. It's like, but they still want to laugh. So you kind of, you just try to throw that in. Yeah.
In those hard times of dealing with the people that you deal with, your clients, and taking care of them, how do you take care of your heart?
Oh, good question. He's coming for you, Oprah.
So hard.
How do I take care of my heart? I do this. I try to do what I tell my clients to do, right? Use your coping skills. My coping skill is music and laughter, right? So when I get off work, boom, I got the music on, I'm turning the radio on, I'm twerking in the car on the way home. You know what I mean? Because that gets that energy off.
We talked about that earlier, moving.
Right, move. Like you said, yeah, because you're a dancer. Exactly, yeah. And so you gotta move and you gotta, whatever. And breathing, sleep. You gotta get enough sleep. That's big. Yeah, because
I know nothing about that because I need to get more sleep.
Yes, you gotta get it, honey. I'm talking about that good stuff where you snoring and everything with your mouth wide open.
Right.
Yeah, you need that. Yes. Yeah, you gotta get sleep. You gotta eat right. I try because you never get it right all the time.
No.
But I try to do that for myself. And I talk to people because I love to talk. Yes. So I get on the phone and I call like whoever and just kind of talk about what, just get it, because you got to get it out.
Right.
In the morning, I journal. Where my journalers at? It's some journalers in here. I can feel it. Yes. You gotta get it out. First thing in the morning, I pray. I'm talking to God on a regular. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all of that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna do a short little break so y'all can get some more food because we don't want to take all this home. We want to take some home. We don't take all of it home. So I don't mean like go ravish it and like leave us with just like sauce. I do want some more, but I'm saying we don't want to take all of it. And then we're gonna go to the bathroom. Okay, y'all. Yeah, I gotta go. It was like
people get ready.
Hush over the crowds. I guess we're gonna start again.
Yes. Woo-woo. There she go with that energy. Yes, ma'am.
I definitely want to give it up to the taste tutor, Aduni. So that is Aduni supplying the food today. All right. So please check them out at thetastetutor.com if you want some great Gullah and Yoruba. She's a Gullah Yoruba girl.
From Nigeria.
Nigeria, yes. I love it. A little bit more housekeeping because there's some more shows that we got going on up in here at Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas. I talked about that. April 26th, Kitchen Sessions. That is curated by Imani Sims. This is what, like maybe the 10th or so kids? It's about the 10th Kitchen Sessions. Is it at Seattle Art Museum?
Yes, it is.
Okay. This is an old sheet that I have, so I just got to double check information. The time? 7 o'clock. See, I knew that. Not really. Seattle Art Museum, that is April 26th. Kitchen Sessions, curated by Imani Sims at 7 o'clock. So, someone that you know who's on the microphone right now has a show coming up. It is a solo show. Because I respect the person that I'm married to and he'll kill me if I say the name out loud, I won't say the name of the show because it will also offend a lot of Christians. So, I'm just being honest with you. If you go under seattlemagazine.com, you'll find the name of the show.
Promote your show.
I'm going to promote my show. A little bit about the show. So you will understand why I named it the way that I named it. I'm exploring what it is to be, what happened at the start of the HIV and AIDS crisis in the 80s. And I'm exploring 3 different places that gay men found sanctuary. One was the church, and still to this day. One was the disco, and the other was the bathhouse. So there were places for gay men that would give you life and also can cause you death in many numerous ways. So the name of the show is Fag God. Yes. I know, right? You should see the conversations at home. Why did you name it that? Oh my goodness, I could not say that word. Because I'm over-dramatizing his voice. Can I have my moment, please? And I'm also talking about what it is to explore idols. So pastors were idols and still idols at this point in time. We idolize people. In the bathhouses, bodies were idolized. And there also was Bette Midler and Barry Manilow used to play and perform at bathhouses also. So it's really about like exploring how do we idolize bodies and in the midst of a crisis. And I'm also exploring that during the AIDS crisis, when gay men started to die, lesbian women actually started to take care of these men. They were the caretakers, they were planning the funerals. One woman in particular said she lost count after 60 of how many of her friends that she had to bury. So yes, it's a very heavy subject, but it's something that I'm curious about because we don't necessarily talk about HIV and AIDS anymore because we have PrEP and we have all these ways of prevention. But in Atlanta alone, see, I did my research, and I believe the ages between 13 and 24, young black men are catching HIV and contracting the disease at an extremely high rate. It's an epidemic, like really bad in Atlanta, and I'm getting some of the words wrong because I'm missing some of the research right now. So I just want to bring the conversation back around and also exploring like just sanctuary and like what does that mean for people in these 3 different settings?
I mean, even just to jump in, like on the professional side of things. I mean, it's such a big issue, and it's such a topic that usually does not get talked about a lot. And so, but you have a lot of, and I'd say specifically young people, because I work with a lot of young people, and some of them are LGBTQ, and they don't know who to talk to.
Exactly.
They don't have a safe space or person that can say, you know what, baby, it's okay. Like, just talk to me about how you feel. Right. Talk to me about what you're going through. Right. And a lot of, especially in the African American community, it's such a taboo topic still to this day. Even though most of your choir directors are
pastors. Okay. Let's not play with the pastors.
I mean, but
it's taking a whole nother turn. Right, but let's go.
Right. But
we'll get to Flavor Love in a minute.
Yeah. But the thing is that not being able to share your truth causes such a it's so much pain that person has to live with and they deal with, and they carry it around every day, feeling like I'm not good enough, feeling like I don't matter, feeling like people don't love me, you know. And so just to bring awareness, to give that love, you know, to that population is so important. It's very important. And I'm Christian, and I was not offended.
I know you would. You know how people be like, "Oh my goodness!" It's but
yeah, because it's important to, you know, for people to know, like, you do not have to walk around and carry depression. To carry shame and guilt and all of this stuff, you know, that leads to bigger problems.
Right.
Yeah. And so, you know, I would just be remiss as a professional to not say that out loud.
Professional, thank you.
Right. And, you know, and if you need, you know, because some people just don't have anybody to talk to in their family. And so find you a professional to talk to.
We talked about this Friday.
Right.
I just came from therapy appointment when I met y'all.
Okay.
Find you a therapist somewhere in your life.
Right.
Soon.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, LCSWA, LCAS-A, you know, me throw it out there a little bit.
Put it out there.
Yeah. Find you a professional and get healed.
Yes.
Get healed. Mm-hmm.
I will say the show won't be all depressing because you will be able to dress like you in the 80s or 70s, and we're going to dance too. So don't think you just going to come up here and just be depressed when you see this show. It is audience participation. I am not using the stage. I'm using this entire downstairs floor. You will get to explore the area, the use of so just get ready to get your life, come dressed, because anyone that knows me, which is that table mostly, they know I have rules about clothing.
Does that mean you don't wear them?
That too.
You see, I couldn't say nothing. I was like...
So you naked.
I'm saying that people will become in their clothing. I'm not saying what I'm going to be wearing because I'm not giving secrets away. But I'm just saying, come dressed for this show. Be able to have a good time also and learn some things about our ancestors, which were the men and women that died before us that were HIV positive. So that's what I'm just saying, that I don't do stuff that just make you come out and just want to slit your wrists. Like, that's real. Like, you see some pieces, you just like, oh my God, where's the joy? There will be some joy in this piece also. And then 2 of them people know that I work with really heavy topics, so they've been in my process before. They came out alive, so it's okay. So come to the show. They came out alive, yes. Randy, don't be looking at me like that.
You was so heavy, baby.
Yes. All right, back to Courtney Goldie Jackson. That was our commercial break. So let's get into...
I'm nervous.
I've been trying to ask...
How did I find my way on Flavor of Love? Is that what you want to know?
Why him? Why that show? That's the way I want to say it. So let me just say.
No, so that's an easy question. That's an easy question because, I got the show. I had been in LA for 2 months. Okay, quick. You know, people know you move to LA. It may take you, years and years to get something, anything.
Right.
So I was out there for 2 months, and back then, because I didn't have an agent or anything like that. So I would get auditions off of Craigslist.
Hey.
Okay. So I did a music video. This guy named Papa Roo from Texas. I've never heard of him again. Shout out. I don't know. But anyway, so I did his video, and on the video I played a prostitute. And there was another girl, because I had clothes where I could play a prostitute. Yeah. And
I love a good wardrobe. I just love a good wardrobe.
Right. No, it was no wardrobe in it. But anyway, and so there was another girl on there, and she played a crackhead, and she was a very convincing crackhead. But anyway, I digress. So yeah.
So done right now.
Right. Okay. So we partnered up. Got real cool on that shoot, and so right after that, because when I moved to LA, I didn't have no friends.
Right.
You just meet people and you trying to connect. And so she called me one day and she was like, "Girl, they doing that show for Flavor Flav." And I was like, "Girl, I don't care." Because I don't want to do it.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
I had seen it. I had seen it on Craigslist. They had it out there. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was like an opportunity. You know what I mean? It was just something else that you could. So she convinced me to go with her to the audition.
Right.
And so I can't even remember her name at this point. It was a long time ago. So she, I went to the audition and then I was like, I don't want to go. And she was like, girl, don't make me go by myself.
Right.
Which
The guilt.
got me the guilt.
Right.
Exactly. And I was like, yeah, okay, I ain't doing nothing else.
Right.
And so I got dressed. You know, I slayed a little bit and went to the audition with her. And it's so funny because when you think auditions in LA, you think like it's gonna be like a whole like room full of people, like mass people, right? No, there were three people. For Flavor Love, okay?
I mean,
at that time, like I'm sure they had like other like time slots or whatever they call people, but I'm new to LA, so I'm like, whoa, it's only 3 people auditioning for this show. And so she went in, I went in, and then so they give you like a questionnaire, and they were asking you, could you see yourself falling in love with Flavor Flav? And I was like, yes. He looks like everybody else I've dated. And you know what I mean? Because I'm like, man, I done got dressed up. I put on perfume. Like, I'm going to sell this. So, damn, I sold that. And then she, like, so, and then I'm like, girl, what did you put? What did you put? And she was like, no, I put no. And I was like, well, yeah, you're not going to make it. They're not going to pick you. Because you got to tell them what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Come on, this is Hollywood.
Exactly.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So anyway, then I got called because they liked that, right? They liked it. And then they called me into the little audition room. And so it was just a guy asking me questions in the camera.
That sounds so creepy.
A little bit.
Just go.
Because it could have been porn. It could have been.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm new. Anyway, so he's asking me all these questions, and then he goes, well, what are your special talents? Oh my God.
it gets creepier. Oh my, okay.
I didn't even think about it. And so I'm just like I'm in my mind searching, and I'm thinking I have no special talents. Like I can't sing, I can't dance, I don't know. And but I had just learned how to do the chicken head dance. Oh yes. The chingy, remember?
Yes.
I like it when they do that right there.
Oh yes. Yes.
That dance.
Okay.
And I had just learned how to do that dance because I really don't have too much rhythm. So I was excited. I was excited because I knew how to, right? And so I got up, and then he was like, well, let me see. Of course, he's like, well, let me see, show me.
Right.
So I get up and I do the dance, and he's like falling out laughing. So they like it, but they like it though.
Can we see?
You know what? I need my lady to get on the piano and put no Sharon, no.
Could not see the dance.
No. So did that, got the call back, and it was like, we want you. And I was like, oh no. I don't want to do it. Like I put all that effort and energy and strategy into getting on the show to say no. Like I was like, I don't want to do it because it's like, you know what I mean? It's with Flavor Flav, and I was like nervous. I was scared. So
Scared because of
because I did not want to fall in love with Flavor Flav. Okay, that's why. And I was nervous up until the last, like I had my contract and everything, and I did not want to turn that contract in. And I did it like on the very last day. The very last day of turning it in, I went and I turned it in, right? At like 4:59, I was like, here, take it. And so,
what made you say yes at that moment?
Well, okay, so I had a good friend of mine, my boy Spills, Michael Lewis, shout out. And so he goes like, yo, you came out here to get on. He was like, this is an opportunity for you to get on, like you planned. And I was like, but I don't want to be in love with Flavor Flav. I don't want to. And he was like, yo, it ain't about that. He was like, yo, you do comedy, you funny, go in there, be funny, boom. And I was like, ooh, okay.
Advice.
Yes, the best. So I did it, right? I turned it in and everything, and then, and so it was time for us to like move. So we're going to go into the house or whatever.
Right.
But first, we had to go into a hotel for like a weekend. This is like the programming part, you know what I mean? Where they get you like mentally ready, they isolate you and everything. They isolate you, you can't leave your room.
Oh, wow.
You get to order room service, but you can't like go anywhere. And like, so you're just in your room for 3 days, okay? Right? And they so they tell you that the other girls are on the hallway, but you know, you don't see anybody until it's time to go. So we all go downstairs, we're all sitting in the lobby, and we're looking at each other like, what did we just do? Oh my God. Yo, and this is in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, look at her, she look crazy. Oh, she look real crazy. Oh my God, look at her. Oh no. So, me and Pumpkin, if y'all remember Pumpkin, right? Right, oh, I'm coming, baby. I'm coming, I got you. So me and Pumpkin kind of immediately clicked. Like, we like met eyes, because we couldn't talk. So we just met eyes, and we
couldn't talk to
no, not in that. We could not talk until we got to the house.
Oh my God. Okay.
So we're we locking eyes, and we like kind of laughing about the same stuff. So we both like look at Heidi, and we like, because she has on like this is her traveling. She has on like a pink long like negligee. Like nightgown thing with the fur, and then she has like those slide-in like heels with the fur, and I'm like, oh, honey, I'm getting ready to get you. Oh, I'm gonna rip you the whole time. This is gonna be too easy. She's setting them up, and I'm knocking them down. Woo! So I already knew. And then I looked over and I saw New York. And I was like, ooh, look at her. That's what I said. That's what I said to myself. I said, ooh, look at her. Right? And because she was already sitting over there like, I am so pretty. I am just the most prettiest thing in the room. And me and Pumpkin looked at each other was like, yeah, okay. You're right. Girl, bye. That's what we think. So, because she is too fantastic for this show, right? This is not that kind of show, boo. So anyway, all right, so then we get on vans and we leave from the hotel and we're on our way to the house. And the house is like, it ends up being in Bel Air. So this is like a humongous, beautiful house. And we like, this can't be Flavor Flav house. And it wasn't. It wasn't. So we all go in, right? And so we're in there and they have like these like rafters that you just have to stand on. That's what the opening scene where you see us and we're standing on that. And so we're asking for food because we're hungry. And they won't give us any food. They won't give us anything. You know, they come out with like some little hors d'oeuvres or whatever. I was like, what is this? What is this? I'm hungry. Like, I'm not even hungry no more. I'm hungry. And so they're not giving us any food, but they're giving us champagne. And they keep giving us champagne, right? And they're like, oh, no, we just want to keep your glass full. We just want to keep your glass full. Well, when you hungry, you gonna like consume whatever you got. Right. So I'm drinking and drinking and drinking. So before I know it, I'm good. Saucy. Oh, I'm saucy, right? So by the time Flavor Flav gets there, oh, I'm done. Like, I'm done, you know? So, okay, so he comes in. So he like busts in the door. He's got, if y'all remember, he's got on like a pink suit. And he's got like these flowers in his hand. And he goes like, Flavor Flav. Right. And I'm like, oh God, what did I do? So, you know, there's no backing out now. Right. You got to go through with it. You have to commit. This is like one of those moments. Like, I'm like, I have to commit. So I'm there, and you know, he's super nice though. He's super sweet. So he goes around to all the girls and he's introducing himself and he's talking. And he's like, hey beautiful, how you doing? So he gives everybody the flowers and all of that. And at this point, like, I promise you, I really don't remember what happens. Like, I remember certain things, but watching the show helped me bring it back because I was drunk. Like, I was so drunk. Okay, so then, you know, I remember, like, you know, the strawberries and champagne, you know what I mean? So I'll come turn it up. And then, you know, all of that, like, talking to the camera and everything, like, you know, we go, something like a ghetto prom. All of that.
I remember that, the ghetto prom.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, but it was fun. It was really fun that first night, but then you're nervous because you remember, like, ooh, 5 people going home immediately. Like, 5 of us going home, like, ASAP. So you thinking, I'm drunk, but I'm thinking like, I gotta do something to stay on the show. Well, okay, I need to go lay down though. You know, cause I'm drunk and I need to go lay down.
Right.
Cause I've got, I'm trying to sleep it off. Well, I go in there, I'm sleeping it off, and then I hear the producer go, she comes in the room and she goes, Goldie, you need to get up because if you don't, you're going home tonight. And I was like, oh, I can't go home tonight. I've come too far, you know what I mean? To turn back now. So I sit up like fast, too fast. And then when I sit up, I throw up.
I remember that, yes.
On national TV. No, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got on TV and the first thing I did was throw up. Oh, they gonna be so shamed back home. Oh God. And so it happened. Like I promise you, that was not in the script. There was no script. It just happened. You know, but then they loved it. Because they were like, I thought that was going to make me go home. And then they were like, oh, no. You want to see what else you going to do. Yes, you see. Oh, you off the chain, girl. We need to see what you going to do for the rest of the show. So I stayed.
So whose actual decision was it for you? Who went home and who did not go home? Was it his decision or was it the producer?
Well, okay, so we didn't know. We never knew. But we think it was mostly the producers, and then we think he kind of like, had some feedback in too. So, but we figured out this, that if you spent like the night alone with him, like if you spent that quality time with him, usually we saw people go home right after that. So then you kind of think like, oh, I don't want to spend no quality time with you. No, baby. I need to figure this out. I gotta stay close, but not that close. So you want to, because you're doing challenges and stuff.
Right.
So you want to do good on the challenge, but you don't want to win the challenge because the challenge gets you the time with him, right?
Bam, okay.
Right. So then, you got the moment where you frying the chicken, and I'm like, I can fry chicken better than this, but
the microwave chicken,
that was Heidi, your girl.
Right,
she puts the chicken in the microwave, and I'm looking like, are you serious? Like you can't think hitting the chicken button on the microwave is gonna cook the chicken. Really? But she was so serious. She was so convincing. Everybody was so convincing, so we just kind of like thought like, wow, this is really you. And like with New York too, like New York was so convincing that she was calling him foofy.
Yeah.
She was saying that like she was so in love, and I just kept looking at her like, wow, wow, you really serious, or like you a really good actress,
right?
And so I don't know. I think she was kind of a little bit of both. With him. So anyway, it was dope. Like overall, I don't know what specific questions you had about it, what I answered, what I didn't.
We just talking at this point in time.
But it was such a super dope experience.
Where did the names come from?
He gave us the names, right? And so the naming part, I don't remember why he gave me the name Goldie. But I asked him later, and I was like, why did you give me that name? And he was like, because you light up a room. I was like, and it just sounded like, yeah, okay. So by the time he got to season 2, he was like completely tapped out of names. Because you can tell like the names on season 2 are just like crazy. Right. But just, I just want to say like really for real, from bottom of my heart, like shout out to Flavor Flav. Like I love this dude. I love him. He was dope. He smelled good. His breath was good. People come for him. Like they say so much. I'm like, no, Flavor's like a dope guy. I mean, he wasn't dope enough to sleep with, but he was a dope guy.
What was the most surprising thing you found out about him?
Oh man, that all of his children are cute. They are.
I'm so done with this.
His kids, like all of his kids are super cute. He has super cute kids, yeah. I'm not willing to, take a gamble on that, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They were all cool. No, and he was, no, for real, I got a real answer. He's a classical pianist. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
He is. Flav is a classical pianist. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. He's really dope. He's a really sweet guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's 3:47, and we gotta wrap up soon. And I feel like I could just sit here for like such a long time and talk.
So I'll tell you how I got voted off. I'll tell you that part.
Yeah,
How
I do want to open up questions for the audience.
Right. Oh, okay, cool. So, all right. So we went to San Diego, right, on our little date,
Yeah.
and the date was with me in New York because he was kind of pairing us off at that time. And so we went to the zoo. It was dope. We stayed at the W Hotel, and I got drunk again. So that night, I was drinking because I was drinking with me in New York was drinking. I ain't know. Sometimes you try to drink with people and you really can't drink with them like that.
Yeah.
Because New York was like, she could go. So anyway, we were drinking and I got like toe up. And so when I saw him, like when I, because I don't drink anymore. And this is probably why I don't drink anymore. And that night is like when I get lovey-dovey and I just saw him and I was like, hey. And then I kissed him. Ooh, I went in, honey. Yeah, and so, and then New York was mad. She was so mad at me. Like, 'cause she was like, what? Oh my God, now you trying to be competition? And I was like, baby, I've been competition. Okay.
Yes.
But, so then we went back to his room. And, he was thinking like it was going to go down because I kissed him and everything, like with all that passion. And then the liquor started to wear off at that point.
The real reality TV started.
Right. And it was so funny because I'm sitting on the couch looking at him and he was like, Goldie, you seem like you getting cold on me. And I was like, yeah. And then he goes to the bathroom and he like turns on because he loves taking bubble baths. Like this is another like thing about him. He loves taking bubble baths. So this man goes in the bathroom and turns on the water because he's getting ready to have a bubble bath with Goldie.
Right.
No. So I'm sitting on the bed. I'm sitting on the side of the bed and I'm just like, oh God, how am I gonna get out of this? How am I gonna get out of this? And then I just got up and I went in there and I just turned the water off. And then he's talking because he's walking around the room and he's talking and then he goes, wait, did you turn the water off? And I was like, uh-huh. Then he was like, oh, okay.
I see what's up.
I see what's up.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And so, but he was cool about it. He was super cool about it. And we just talked and kicked it, that night. And then the next day, your girl went home.
Ooh.
Yeah. He was like, I just don't really think you here for me. So, yeah.
But you were in the top 4.
I made it to the final 4.
The final 4. So you played the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
we have a few minutes before the final question. Does anyone in the audience have any questions for Goldie? It's weird calling you that right now because I've been calling Courtney all week.
The whole time.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Yes, well. Okay, so
that was one of my questions. I
have 3. The first one I did nothing with. That was in psychology. Then I went back to school a couple years ago and I got a degree. I got a bachelor's in social work and I got my master's in social work. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? I saw your hand there.
Is that show on the internet now? Can I look it up?
Yes, ma'am. Last I heard, it was definitely on Hulu. It's on YouTube, and every Valentine's weekend they run a marathon of it.
Do you still get paid from that show?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not at all, because it's reality TV, and you don't, you just make what you make per diem.
Okay.
And then you never get anything else.
Okay.
So I mean, they just expect you to parlay it for what it's worth. And, that's what we've been trying to do all of this time.
Yes. So, the play you did with Billy Dee Williams.
Okay.
And the movie that you did.
Okay. So, because we only have a few minutes, right? So, okay. And I want to talk about more.
Or we can spill over. I don't know.
Okay. So, I did a play.
Okay.
You silly. I did a play with, called Shacking Up. with Billy Dee Williams, Shirley Murdoch, Lenny Williams, and Leon. Right. Oh, that was my girl.
Yes.
And that was such a dope experience because coming off of reality TV, people just kind of look at you like, you're just that. You really don't have talent. And so, whatever. And I got cast in the play. And so I was like so grateful. And like, thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity with these legends.
Right.
Oh, man. And so, remember I told you, like, at the end of the play, it was like Billy Dee ended up, like, with his face in my bosom.
Yes.
So, because we had just built such a cool, like, working thing. And everybody was so nice. And they were so, like, they were teaching me along the way how to, how to do this thing, how to be in this industry. And it's funny because I walked away, one of my best friends out of it was Lenny Williams. Now, I had no idea who Lenny Williams was. I did not know who he was, but he was so funny. He was so funny on the, when we were rehearsing and everything. And I was like, yo, this dude is hilarious. I was like, look, bro, you missed your calling. You missed your calling. You should have been a comedian. And so Shirley pulls me to the side and she's like, Courtney, you don't know who that is? And I'm like, nah, but he's funny. Like, yo, have you talked to him? And she's like, look, baby, that's Lenny Williams. And I go, who? And she's like, okay, you know the song. Girl, you know I love you. I was like, oh my God, that's him. Because that's a classic. Oh, I love that song. Yes. It was amazing. And so he was so cool. Billy was, that suave, like kind of debonair, and he was, we would sit in the lobby with him at night and have drinks. And I would pick his brain about Diana Ross. Because I wanted to know. Yes. I wanted to know, had he, I was like, well, you and Diana ever a thing? And he was like, oh, Diana, she was a good friend.
I'm not spilling nothing.
Right, Billy, tell me more. And so, just hanging out with Leon and, 5 Heartbeats.
Did you say Leon?
Leon. Oh, yes. Leon was on the bill. Mm-hmm.
Next.
So.
I needed a moment.
No, we did too. It was such an amazing experience. And, but it was one of those things where, it's the industry. Yes. And so you learn quick how the industry works because they told me they were going to bring me back for the next run of the play, and they didn't. No. And I was crushed. I was so hurt, but then it's like the thing where you're thankful for the experience.
Exactly.
And you keep it moving. You use what you got and you keep it moving.
Right.
So,
put that on your resume.
Oh, okay. Think I won't when I will.
Right.
Yeah. And so the movie. We shouldn't even talk about the movie. So I did a movie. It's a small independent movie with a lot of comedians, and it was one of those things that you kind of wish you hadn't after you do it, but you did it. Because it wasn't the best movie. Let's just say definitely wasn't going to get picked for an Academy Award. No, not at all.
Tonight.
But as an artist, and for the artists in the room, y'all, just if you're an artist in the room, let me get some snaps. Yes. For the artists in the room, that, sometimes you got to just do the work regardless if it's the good work or not. It's just the work. And it builds you in some ways that you won't even expect, and it's you were supposed to get paid this amount, but you didn't get paid that amount.
Right.
Or, it's just one of those things. So that was I wanted to say that to the artist, that even if it's a project where you're like, oh God, I hope that never sees the light of day, you still, at the end of the day, you put it on your resume, and you're thankful for what it did because it built you some way.
It did something.
It did something for you. And, at the end of the day. So I'm not going to say the name of it. Yeah. I'm just going to say it's one of those.
That'll be offline.
It's one of those.
One or two more questions from the audience before the final question.
Do you ever see yourself going back to reality?
reality TV?
For the longest, I said no. You know, I just didn't because I felt some type of way. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got all these degrees now and I'm professional and all that. But I really would love to produce shows that highlight or just educate, you know, mental illness in the Black community, and just put like the funny spin on it and make it entertaining. That's definitely a goal of mine. So I won't say no. I won't say, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'll say I'm open to opportunities and we'll see.
That's in alignment with who you are now.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. All right.
Yes, questions.
So how many weeks or how long was the time period it took for you to film?
I'm gonna ask that question. So I was actually in the house for 3 weeks and 2 days. That was the total. And the Hoops won my season, and so she was there for 4 weeks. So that was it.
Oh, wow.
That was it. Now, TV, they stretch it out. It's 10 episodes for a season.
Right.
And so they stretched out what we did because they were shooting around the clock. The only time they weren't shooting is when the lights off and we would sleep.
Wow.
But if you started talking,
Oh, they was filming.
they would turn the lights back on and run in with the cameras. So, you know, because they wanted to get as much footage as possible.
Right.
Because they never know what they, might use.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw one hand up in the back.
Okay, I want to know where you're practicing now. You mentioned something about Brooklyn, New York.
I lived in Brooklyn in between 2010 and 2011. And so we didn't do it, but we'll do a little bit. I moved to so I was in LA and I moved to New York because I wanted to get better at comedy. And also because, New York is, honey, that's the place right there to really get it. And so I wanted to get better at comedy. And I also wanted to be closer to my dad because my his health was failing. And so when I moved to New York, I moved to Brooklyn. And so I lived in Brooklyn and I worked in Harlem. And New York was dope. New York was where I really found my passion and what made me go back to school. Because I started working for the Harlem Children's Zone. And I was working with 9th grade kids. And it was just like, I was like, oh man, I love this.
Where did you live in Brooklyn?
East New York, off of Linden Boulevard. Yeah, so.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, cool. What up, Brooklyn? Brooklyn, stand up, okay? Yeah. What part, baby?
I'm from Halsey Street, Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy. Okay, cool. Yeah. My stop was Euclid. Yeah. And so that was where I first was like, whoa, like I love working with kids. I love giving back in this kind of way. So yeah.
So where are you doing your therapy at?
It's in North Carolina. Yeah. I work in Lumberton, North Carolina.
I'm also an MSW therapist as well.
Are you? Yay! Hey, okay. Big.
All these connections.
We gonna do that.
I love this. I know I said one more. There's so many questions.
Somebody else.
No, go.
I just wanted to know if your father's still alive.
No. My dad passed away 5 years ago.
And did you have a good relationship with him up until then?
I did at the end. At the end because my dad was pretty upset with me for moving out to California.
And leaving him?
Yeah, and leaving him. Yeah, because it was us. You know what I mean? And I was just like, you know what? I want to do this. And I love you, but I need you to love me enough to let me go do it.
Right.
And so when I came back, when he got really, really sick, I left New York and I moved home and took care of him for the last 2 years of his life. Yeah. So.
Last question.
Oh, I don't have no question. I just got a crazy idea. I'd like to see you in a movie with Whoopi Goldberg playing buckwheat, you playing a prostitute, and the Wayans brothers with that family with the man that poops in the jar. All that crazy stuff.
I don't know who that is, but I'm feeling your idea. She put me with Whoopi and the Wayans brothers. Yes, ma'am.
I just playing a little girl. To make it into a movie that highlights people's ethnocentricities or whatever it is, but make it sort of humane so people can relate. to people with all those quirks.
Yes, ma'am. I hope somebody on your live heard that. Because I'm down.
We got ideas all over the place.
I am down.
So, Courtney Goldie Jackson, these past few days have been a pleasure for me. I found my new friend. This forever. I got your number. We ain't gotta go through sharing no more.
Nah. You can't throw my cousin out. She got to be in the middle of everything.
She gotta make sure you get here. What I'm saying is, like, we can just talk without you know.
Right.
I'm here because of Sharon, and I will forever be grateful because of that. If she didn't say yes to me, I would be doing something else.
And you know, just like 'cause me and Sharon, our grandparents are from a place called Parkton, North Carolina. Very small. Like you can be from North Carolina and still have never heard of Parkton.
Wow.
And you know, it's so amazing that we come from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like our grandparents, they either sharecropped or they were like working alongside sharecroppers.
Right.
And so, they gave us everything. You know what I mean? They put in us like so much love and so much history and so much you can do anything that you put your mind to. And I just have to shout out these people, you know what I mean, that loved us, that are where we come from, and what gave us the ability to get out in the world and like be amazing.
Yes.
We stand on their shoulders.
Yes.
I mean, for real. So like I just shout out, Dude Jackson, Marie Jackson, her grandma Helen. I mean, it's like this is what we come from. And so just to say like, don't, you guys are all, out here. You guys are doing it. But for people that are in their small towns and don't think I can do, because I come from a small town, like, you can do. You can, anything that you want to do. The artists that are still, working 9 to 5s and, they're like, oh man, it's too hard. No.
You can do it.
You can do it. You can make it so. Yeah.
How can people, if they want to stay in contact and know what you're doing and where you're at in the world, how can they do that?
Well, I thought you never asked. You got to hit me on Facebook. It's just Courtney Jackson. And Instagram is Goldie_98. So it's GOLDIE_98. Yeah.
I have one final question that I ask all my guests for Sunday dinner. And this question is so near and dear to my heart. What is your joy?
I knew you were going to ask me that. That's the last question.
That's the last question. It's always going to be the last question.
So, okay, it's a 2-part answer. Really, my joy is like being in like a loving situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as I'm around like people that like love and have love for me and I can give love to them, like that's it. But then it's like really working with kids. So like working with kids.
Yes.
It's like, you know what I mean, giving that. Because like me being in a room full of kids and everybody's running over and talking about Miss Courtney, like I love that.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So that's, it.
Thank you. I just wish more and more love and joy in your life and success. From someone who's watched you on the show to like get to sit here and talk to you, I'm just like, oh my God. There are quite a few people in my life that I adore and love from a distance that I've got to actually meet in person. And it's just been like this. It's been that.
Well, that's because you're living your best life.
We gotta play that song, the edited version. So I thank you, and I just wish more and more. And please come back to Seattle.
I will.
Like so soon. Like we will make up something for you to come.
Okay.
Like another Sunday dinner part 2, because there's just things that we didn't get to.
It's a lot of stuff we didn't get to.
And then we will co-host some stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we need to. Maybe we'll do that, Sharon.
Okay.
It's recorded, right? So Sharon can say no. we will somehow create something for next season so Courtney and I can co-host something. And we don't know what it is yet.
We're not sure.
It's recorded so Sharon can't say no. That's the only reason I want it recorded. We got,
I heard her say it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. All right, you all have a really great Sunday.
Thank you, Seattle. Thank you. Thank y'all.